Hello out there and welcome back to the reading room. I'm Mark Reed and today it's AIMBOT time. AIMBOT resurrected to be more accurate, where we've brought back the am I morally bankrupt or them? A better way to say it is am I the a-hole basically. We're going to be going through some situations on Reddit. Am I the asshole post and see if we can apply secular humanism to some of these situations. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, it's basically just we're looking at morality essentially, but practical morality applied to situations that the internet will apparently kindly give us. Now, basically, I do have to do a disclaimer on this, and I kind of mentioned it last week as well, which was the resurrection of this series, that we kind of take these at face value. We always have to keep in mind that they're only one side of a story. So when we talk about posts and blogs and these situations that come up, we are only getting one side of it. So we take it at face value. We assume that all the facts in it are correct. They may or may not be, but we really, it's just an exercise in providing, a secular morality and showing how we would go through using the principles of secular humanism, like utilitarianism and consequentialism, to sort of apply to this. Now, secular humanism, if you've never encountered it before, and I assume most people watching have, but it's more based upon just a greatest happiness principle. And we don't mean happy as in, being the overjoyed with things. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about most satisfaction. I've been thinking a lot about this kind of thing. It's sort of really been dominating my thoughts lately. And I think that pure consequentialism, that the pure outcome of something is really lacking. So it needs something more to sort of give it weight. I think it's just called plain consequentialism, that people say, well, whatever the outcome. This kind of lends to the ends justify the means, and it doesn't appeal to me at all. So what I would like to do is sort of more start thinking about intent rather than just the consequences. Now, really, I think that all in all, we have to pair up what the intended result is. Is the intent that you mean? So if you go to save somebody's life in a burning building, is the intent reasonably going to lead to the outcome that you're after? Like if I say, well, I'm going to save this person by, stopping a train, jumping in front of the train and deflecting it with my body. Well, the intent is not the reasonable outcome you would have. So I don't think that is something that is good, because you're or at least it's misguided and therefore immoral. The outcome will not lead to the consequences that you're really after. But I think as long as with a reasonable consequence, if you intend, if you can reasonably intend a consequence, even if that fails and leads to a bad outcome, I think that it is good enough. I don't know what to call that, but this is sort of working along. I'll think about it some more. But let's get into AIMBOT. Okay, so I've got the thing up, and I'll just jump in. Just a few shout outs. Big Bad Mama, so good to see you. I was up late last night and saw Big Bad Mama. Look, I'll be honest. I picked on Big Bad Mama. I'll be completely honest with you. I absolutely picked on them, and I do apologize. I was just tired. But I love you, Big Bad Mama. I'm gonna send some love to Big Bad Mama, because look, seriously, they did not deserve the crap I was giving them last night. I swear they didn't deserve it. I don't. Yeah. And none of this is supposed to be advice, by the way. It's not supposed to tell you, okay, this is what you should do in your life. I just want to make that clear. All it is just evaluating situations, and it is judging. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's consensual judging. I think, didn't we have that as a line? Like, it's consensual judging. They've consented to be judged because they're asking. So Big Bad Mama, I'm so sorry. I was tired. I would say I didn't mean it, but obviously I said it. So yeah. I was only joking, and I kind of you thought it was hilarious. Oh, that's good because it really was meant in good fun kind of thing. Pragmatic Crystal, thank you so much. Ember, good to see you. You are Victoria. Sterling Nash, hi, welcome. I'm not sure if you've been around before. Welcome for the first time if you have. Welcome back if you're a repeat viewer. Always good to have everybody in here. Let's go. Let's do it. Whoop. All right. And now I don't pick these. I don't curate them. I don't go through and find the ones that I want to see. We're really just applying it straight off the bat, straightforward. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please give me your thoughts. I want to know what you think. And if you've got a different way of evaluating things, I do want to know what that is and why. Um, I'm just going to write up a quick thing. I didn't have the list of options in front of me. It is the post morally bankrupt. So sorry, everybody. Just bear with me. But we'll just go through the first one, and we're going to work our way down. And I might use good and evil terms this time. Just gifted your membership. There you go. Congratulations. That's awesome. Is that big enough? I think that's big enough. So first one up. Existing substance 67. With an update, we'll go through the first part and then we'll see the update. Am I the asshole for punishing my foster daughter for telling the authorities my 12-year-old daughter was taking drugs? Wow. Okay. You know what? Just as a brief thing, actually, I can probably. I wish I'd get rid of this sidebar. It's kind of annoying. I wonder if there's any way I can close it down. No, not really. Okay, well, I mean, we'll just live with it. I'm sorry. Let's get it a bit bigger. It depends. It depends. So it depends really. So when you're looking at that, you're looking at a series of choices between two things. You're looking at does the harm, or can you reasonably say that the harm in alerting the authorities is greater than the harm of your 12-year-old daughter taking drugs? I think that the harm of letting it go, I'm not sure. It depends on whether there's any other thing you can do. But I think that if you're going to the authorities, I think that you're at the point where something has to be done. So I think that the intention can reasonably said that they're trying to help your daughter. I think that your foster daughter is trying to help them. Not, they're not meaning to harm. And I think that in telling the authorities, you can reasonably say, well, we're trying to get her help, and that would be the outcome that they're after, which you could reasonably say would be a good consequence. So I think that, yeah, you're kind of a bit morally bankrupt for punishing them for trying to help. I don't think that's a good idea. But after receiving thousands upon thousands of comments, this is the update. Okay. I'd like to say I realized my mistake. I wasn't to account the immense amount of trauma Mary has gone through at such a young age and the effect. Okay. I had a tough but necessary conversation with both Lila. Oh, this is an update. Oh, this is just the update. Do we have a link to the original? I've already commented on it. Do we have a link to the original? When the original? Maybe if I get existing substance, I can. I, 34, have looked after my foster daughter, Mary, 13 female, for over a year, ever since her parents overdosed on drugs. Oh, that's terrible. I also have a biological daughter, Lila, 12 female. Mary and Lila mostly get along, although there have been some minor arguments. A few weeks ago, the police came to Lila's school. Someone had sent an anonymous message to the school saying that Lila was possessing of drugs. After searching through her phone, locker, and bags, they realized that drugs in question were Skittles that Lila had lying around her bag, accidentally ripping open the packaging. Lila was terrified of the police and was traumatized by the incident. She's a shy, quiet girl who had a panic attack at the thought of being sent to prison. Oof. While they wouldn't reveal who told on her, Lila suspected it was Mary, since she was the only one who could have seen the Skittles in her bag. Mary denied this at first, but eventually she snapped under pressure and admitted it. She said she had made a mistake and was scared that Lila would overdose like her parents. Oof. Right, so they didn't actually have any drugs. They saw Skittles and thought they were drugs. Oh, that's just sad. That's just sad. I know Mary has trauma related to drugs, but that's not an excuse. I've made it very clear she can come talk to me about anything, even if it involves Lila, and yet she went to the school instead of telling me first. Mary said that she only went to the school in case I was biased towards Lila. She knew full well the legal ramifications of her actions. Both of them could have potentially been removed from my care. I can't help but think her intentions are malicious. Skittles look absolutely nothing like drugs. I mean, to a 13-year-old, I don't know. Like, if somebody's got trauma around that kind of thing, I don't know if you've ever seen, if this person's ever seen, like, ecstasy or something, disco bickies, but they can look like candy. I don't know. I don't. So, she didn't talk to me or Lila about it. She went straight to the authorities, so I decided to ground her, stop her allowance, increase her chores, take away her electronics for the entire summer. Wow, that is not cool. She's so upset with me for this, saying I went too far and was punish her for having trauma and trying to do the right thing. But I feel like I have a duty to teach that it's not okay to potentially get our entire family into legal trouble over misunderstanding. Oh. I think that you're way overreacting. Like, way overreacting. I don't know. I still feel like, it's kind of like maybe the person that's paranoid is you. Yeah, no, I got to agree, left-handed Jedi. Sit her down and talk. No, don't punish her for trying to help and do the right thing. And plus, she's obviously got some trauma around sort of drug use and stuff, which I can completely understand. I can completely understand. All right. Well, I might skip over the thing about this one because obviously she realized she did exactly the same thing. And so this is the update. Okay. Okay. I've gone too far. I've broken it. I've broken everything. I've broken it all. After receiving thousands upon thousands of comments, like I say, I realized that my mistake. I wasn't taking into account the immense amount of trauma that Mary has gone through in such a young age and the effect that it had on her actions. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you, parent. Maybe we should skip the update ones because they're just updating on what happened. Is that is not large. Come on. There we go. Young age, yeah. I had a tough but necessary conversation with both Lila and Mary. We had a heart-to-heart so both girls could hear from each other's perspectives. What happened was Mary found out that Lila had been hanging out with a boy that Lila knew was Mary's crush. This also with the 1-year anniversary of Mary's parents' overdose. She confessed that her grief, coupled with what she interpreted as Lila's betrayal, influenced what happened the following week. Mary maintained she didn't have taken the canned drugs to own, but the fact that she'd notified the teachers, not only because she was concerned for her safety, because everything believed that it wasn't fair for Lila to get away unpunished for having drugs. Okay, yeah, gotcha. I know I should have been angry at Mary. Really? I don't think that's a good response. I've been informed that traumatized children can lose their common sense after being exposed to triggers. Oh, isn't that the truth? I assume this applies even more when it occurs on the anniversary of their trauma. Well, there can be all kinds of things sort of leading to triggers. And we all, like, if you have been through trauma, triggers can make people act incredibly irrationally. Should she be a foster parent if it took her to Reddit to teach her a lesson? I don't like. I don't care where wisdom or some kind of knowledge comes from. Um, Look, I think that a lot of the time people just, we can get wisdom from our friends and we can get good knowledge from our friends, and nobody's got it figured all out. I don't really care as long as it sort of comes, and I think that Reddit can say some really horrible things, but in this case, I don't have a problem with it. I guess I don't know. We're going to Reddit, so well, so when you say excuse, abracadabra, I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's just sort of a reason. I think it is just this is why she reacted the way that she did. And don't forget, she is 13. You haven't completely developed at that point. Um, I don't think that you can sort of say, hey, she's to blame for the way she should react better at 13 kind of thing. Okay, let's skip the updates because they're just sort of updates to other ones. Right. Alternative stay 908. What is he like? Advertising for a freaking bed and breakfast or something? Alternative stay 908. Gotcha. Am I morally bankrupt for telling my friends that I'm sorry her parents didn't love her as much as mine love me? That is pretty a face value just from the title. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Reason to lie? Wait, who's lying? Who's lying? Reason to lie. Who's lying? I'm not sure who's lying. I'm a bit confused. I'm very confused. I, 22 female, have a friend named Amy, who's also 22 female, who I met in college. Currently, we are in last semester of college. I live alone, but she shares her apartment with two other people. We never really spoke about our finances much, but I know that both of our parents currently pay our rent. The issue started when we talked about our future plans. Oh, yeah, housemates. Look, living with somebody can be very challenging. I will say that. It absolutely. Like if you're friends with somebody, I think that you should try out living together short term. Some people can be friends, and when they live together, they just don't get along. It happens. It's living with people is very different than just being friends with them. I will say that. I told her that I'm probably going to get a job and do my master's at the same time so I can save up a little, but also to have my own money to spend on some things that I love and to travel. She laughed at me and asked me what kind of salary I expect while working part time to be able to afford all that. Okay. I shrugged and said I don't have any expenses that I need to cover, really, just food and that's it. She looked shocked and asked me about rent and stuff, and I said, my parents will be paying for it. She then went on a rant about becoming an adult, how she can't wait to be independent, how she doesn't want to take the money from her parents and stuff like that. For the most part, I tried to nod my head and listen to her, but then she said something like, I'd feel like a bad daughter if I were you. And that made me feel really embarrassed. Okay, so your friend's overreacting because you don't have to pay rent. Look, I kind of, at the same time, yes, you should be looking to become independent because it's going to have to happen eventually. But I don't blame people for living at home and having their parents pay for things. It's a hard world out there, and if you can get your parents to give you a start off in life. Oh yeah, but I don't think she lied, Sabracadabra. I think she overreacted to something that she thought was true. I really think so. For the most part, tried to nod my head. Yeah, so embarrassed. Yeah, that's a bit of a crappy thing to say. I'd feel like a bad daughter if I was you. Yeah. So this isn't about her thinking you're a bad daughter. It's about her feeling bad because she has expenses and you don't. This is reciprocity coming into play, like how everything should be fair. Unfortunately, that's not what life is like. My parents want to pay for my apartment. They can easily afford it. I'm not the type of person to be ungrateful for it. I spend a lot of time with them. I know they don't lack money or anything. They travel, they own their house, they have a good retirement plan. They don't mind paying for me, and I don't mind taking it. We have a good relationship. Yeah, I know this won't be forever and didn't expect it to be, just a few years until I finish my degree and get a higher paying job. I got annoyed and told her to drop it. We can talk about something else, but she continued talking about how her parents want her to be a real adult, how never want to be ambitious unless I struggle, and just more and more nonsense. Not sure how important it is between the two of us. My grades are significantly better and I'm a few exams ahead of her. All right, well, I mean, that's sort of irrelevant, but yeah, weird flex in the middle of a am I the arsehole, to be honest with you? I just cut her off and said, well, I don't know. Maybe my parents love you more than yours love you, so they want to pay. I'm sorry for that. Now, can we talk about something else? Wow, that is an arsehole thing to say. Like, both people here are being arseholes, in my opinion. Like, she really shouldn't have said, oh, you've got to, not take the money because whatever. That's not cool. I'd feel like a bad daughter if I was you. That's just passive aggressive. That's not cool. That's not cool. We didn't talk since, and I do feel bad because I know love has nothing to do with money, and looking back, it's such a rude thing to say. You are correct, but I said it just to shut her up because she was insulting me and calling me spoiled for no reason. I wasn't even the one to start this conversation, nor did I probe into her finances. She was the one who kept it going. Ever since that day, I feel a pit in my stomach, and I really didn't want to insult her. Well, you could just apologize, but say that, hey, I felt attacked. I feel, just adding some stuff, I feel like Amy's intention wasn't genuine because currently she accepts her parents paying rent, food, utilities, everything. So do I. The conversation was about after college. Well, maybe her parents weren't happy to, they would said after college, you're on your own. That's maybe that's what, like, I don't think she's upset with you getting money. I think she's probably upset at her parents not paying hers. I mentioned my academic success because she had said I'd never really be ambitious when I try really hard. We also don't live in the USA and parent support isn't so uncommon. This may not convince people. I really do appreciate. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So to me, when I look at it, no one's behaving very well here. Like, nobody is. I get that. Like, but we've got to separate these. So why they're just reacting to one another, and the thing is that I don't think that the girl is reacting to you. I don't think the reasons why she's saying that is the reasons why she's saying it. She's not upset that you're getting support. She's probably upset that she's not getting support, and just sort of lashing out at you because probably she feels helpless. I don't know, but I think everyone's kind of to blame in this one. I think everyone's being an asshole, to be honest with you. I don't think just because someone's being an asshole to you, it's right for you to say, hey, well, my parents love me more. I don't think that's the case, but I'll put the poll out. Vote. Mess up my poll. I don't care. Go for it. So ESH is everyone sucks here. You are definitely an asshole for saying such a thing. Yep, absolutely. Money does not equal love ever. Yeah. And it may be that she's having trouble with her parents. So that kind of thing said, that's pretty horrible. I got to admit. Both of you have loving parents. Yeah. She may want to continue education, but her parents have decided they will not support her past her bachelor's. That doesn't mean they love her as much. Yeah, absolutely. Where's your upvote thing? Yeah, absolutely. Limited funds. Rachel B, she's not a good candidate for an advanced degree. Yeah, I kind of agree. Everyone sucks here. Line ain't fair. Yeah. But, I mean, I grew up sort of, my parents weren't poor, but they weren't well off either. It was kind of a struggle, more a working class sort of family, but they worked hard to help us. And I've never felt like, oh, well, you've got rich parents, that's unfair. It's more, what, if I was in that position, I'd be doing exactly the same as you. Life's tough enough. Uh, yep, yep, yep. That's what that's what I've come to expect from you, chat. Love it. Thanks, Ember. Thank you. She pushed you as being rude and combative. You didn't have to engage in the conversation anymore. You could have just left. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, that is sometimes the best option, is to walk away. You said what you said out of retaliation. Yep. Yeah, but I think the only way forward is to talk to her and say, "Hey, this really hurt when you said this. I'm really sorry that I said that," and try to, I guess, find out what the actual problem is, because obviously she doesn't really have a problem with the parents paying through bachelors. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something you can help her with. Don't know. Don't know. What's chat got to say? What's love got to do? Got to do with it? Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. Absolutely. Yeah, it always seems to be marriages or living together, stuff like that. All right, let's see how you voted. How did we come out? But really, looking at it, these kind of comments, like these kind of snide comments, they never lead to anything good. They're never, nothing ever comes out well in these situations. Yeah, so everyone is evil. Yeah, pretty much. That, and we all say stuff like this, and you can always go back and say, I didn't mean it. um you know that's fine. That's fine. Okay. GF, girlfriend trip crash. Oh, that sounds awful. Am I the arsehole for telling my girlfriend to get out of the driver's seat after she got in a fender bender? Well, yeah. I mean, what? Why? To get out of the driver's seat? It it's a bingle. It's just a crash. Like, I want to know more about this one. I really want to know more about this one. Um, 26 male, was driving somewhere with my girlfriend, 27 female. She was driving. Okay. Traffic came to a sudden stop and didn't brake in time, as she said her foot slipped and rear-ended the car in front of us and pushed it into the next one. Yeah, it happens, man. It's an accident. What are you gonna do? After we dealt with it, I presume, exchanging information, and the cops writing the report and giving her a ticket. The cops left and she went back in the car. A ticket for what? A ticket for what? I don't get this. What could they cite her for? Something rings hollow about this. I don't think this is true, because the cops wouldn't give you a ticket for getting into an accident. Like, not unless they observed you were speeding or recklessly driving or something. A ticket for what? I mean, they might give her some kind of report, but a sort of crash report, but a ticket, a citation for what? I don't know. Maybe it's different in other places. I don't know. But over here, like, if you get into an accident, it's an accident, um, yeah, I don't. I'd started a conversation about something unrelated with one of. Let me tell you about an accident where I got rear-ended. Like, this girl was behind me, and I know because we got out and talked, kind of thing. But basically this happened. She just rear-ended me out of nowhere. I'm not sure what happened on her end, and quite frankly, it's none of my business. It's just, you have to exchange insurance information and stuff like that. So we pull over to the side of the road. There wasn't a lot of damage to either car. It was just, a collision, basically. And so our cars are sort of half on the road, and you know, we get out, and she's crying, and I'm like, it's okay, you know, are you okay? That's the important thing, right? If you're in an accident, screw the cars. Are the people okay? Cars can be replaced, people can't. So I'm like, no, it's totally fine, it's okay. You know, accidents happen, and you know, I'm really feeling for her because she's upset. And this bike rider comes by, and because we've blocked the bike lane trying to get the cars off the road, this bike rider who had to like move around the cars is like, move your cars, you put it right in the bike, and starts yelling at us. And I'm like, dude, we've just been in an accident. Like, we're not parking here for the fun of it. We've had an accident. And like, I am seriously defending her against this arsehole of a bike rider. You know, like, who comes, sees like a car's in it that had an accident and starts yelling at the people? It's so terrible. But you know, it's kind of like, I don't know what you would cite her for. It's just an accident. It's so weird. Anyway, that was my experience with sort of having a rear end, and you know, like, seriously, I really felt for her because she was really upset, and all I cared about was whether everybody was okay, you know, and that I was fine, she was fine. Cars that had a little bit of a ding and stuff, that's okay. I don't care. Exchange insurance, that's what insurance is for. Anyway, she got a ticket, the cops left, went back in the car. Maybe it did mean a crash report kind of thing. I had started a conversation about something unrelated with one of the other drivers about a common hobby we had, and the second other driver was also chatting, and my girlfriend said she'd wait in the car. One of the guys noticed she had entered the driver's seat and was like, no way I'm letting her take the wheel again if that was my wife. Wow, okay. So what? So if you were driving and had the accident, would you accept that your wife goes, no way I'll let you take the wheel again? What? I think that's sort of pretty sexist, to be honest with you. She's just had an accident. She's not like incapable of driving. Does she drive other places? I don't see why having an accident would prevent her from driving. I responded by saying, hi, yeah, I'm definitely kicking her out of the driver's seat. I didn't mean it harshly, and it was just to fit in with the general flow of the conversation. Well, yeah, I think that you're just bad mouthing your girlfriend behind her back, which is kind of scumbag behavior, to be honest with you. Like, why play into that? Like, it's just a stranger, dude. It's just some dude on the road. Why can't you stand up and say, hey, you know, everybody crashes occasionally. Why? I don't get this. I had to leave, so I had to leave. I didn't want to leave. I was happy chatting to the people we had hit by the side of the road. So I went back to our car, and the others were still talking, could see us from the distance, and I told my girlfriend I'll take the driving from there. But she said it's fine and didn't want to. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. She said it's fine. She was being really stubborn. No, you're being stubborn. What? But I insisted and said it is because I didn't want her driving after the shock of getting in an accident. Hey, happy, both of you were in the accident. You were in the car. What the hell? Eventually, she said I'm making a scene, even though she was, and got out and let me drive. Wow. I thought that was it, but she didn't say a word for the rest of the trip and has been very cold towards me by insisting there's no problem. Yeah, no, that's that. Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Am I the asshole here? Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you absolutely are. So the thing is that what you would want to do is if the positions were reversed, would you feel happy with that? If you were driving and you had an accident, would you be happy with your girlfriend going, oh, because of the shock, I should really drive from here? No, you'd say, no, I'm fine. I just, the shock of the accident. this is sort of very misogynistic that women can't handle the shock of the accident because they're such delicate little flowers. If she's upset about the accident and in shock, that's one thing. But you're telling her that she's in shock. She's like, yeah, it's fine. Just, I'm fine now. That's not a problem. Oh no, you're in shock. Come on, dude. Seriously? Wow, what a jerk. I this is the kind of thing where, um, you kind of we're not gonna. Are you sure you didn't back into it? You can tell us. Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. Yeah, I think this poster is being, really misogynistic, and that's not a good thing. It doesn't have good consequences, kind of stuff. Um, if your girlfriend is fine and can cope with that, I don't know why you would baby her like that and make her believe that she can't handle something she's obviously handling. Like, why would you do that? Do you want your girlfriend to not be able to handle it? Are you projecting something maybe? I don't know, but the consequences of doing that is not good, and I don't think he had a good intent. I think his intent was not to look bad in front of the random people that were in the accident. Chatting with one of the drivers, yeah, and he's I had to leave instead of, um I wanted to leave, so I went back to the car, or my girlfriend was waiting, so I went back. It's I had to leave, didn't want to. Yeah, this is just ego. This is all ego. This is them making a comment and you feeling bad about it. Let's see what the Redditors have got to say. You're the asshole. Controlling much? A random stranger makes a sexist remark and you leaned right in. And yes, you were the one causing the scene, not your girlfriend. Absolutely. You're the asshole. You didn't do it because your car or about your girlfriend. You did it to appease a misogynistic comment. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. It is her car. It is her car. It's her car too. All right, that just makes it doubly bad. She was driving. I mean, I don't know if he says it's her car. Does it say it's her car? It says our car. That's a good point. Usually, like girlfriend, boyfriend, one person owns the car. You don't usually share a car. The car. I don't know about this one, folks. It is her car. You should have asked her if she felt okay to drive. Off drive, she should feel stressed. Ordering her to get her car. Yeah, that's her car. Let us. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree. Foot slips from pedal. It happens. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it does. Yeah. No, they're right. It happens. But if that was my wife, um, I wouldn't let it, and there's no way I'm letting her take the wheel again if that was my wife. Well, that's not your wife. So shut the fuck up. Pulse on Astra. Oh, wow. Well, okay. So Ember's in a mood. Her car too. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm right there with you. But usually, I'm not sure whose car it was. Um, I assume that it is her car because if that was your car, I don't know, but we know that he's not doing it. We know that his intention is not to, look after the well-being of her and the car. We know that's not the case. We know that the case is that his ego feels bruised, so he wants to look good to the people around him. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, Sterling. Who cares? Yeah, it happens. Accidents happen. It happens. Don't make a big deal out of it. And he's definitely the one making the scene. If he just said, "Hey, I'm good to go. No worries." It wouldn't be a scene. Oh, you're editing the news. Okay, got you, got you. Oh, bring on the chaos then. Evil poster, I'm right there with you, chap. Right there with you. Next one up from Throw Rafanic? Rafiank? Throw Rafiank. Okay, cool. I'm not defending my friend when my fiance was mean to her. Am I morally bankrupt for not defending my friend when my fiance was mean to her? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Depends on what they said and you know whether they were sort of trying to be honest or just trying to be a prick. But um, you know, I, 26 male, have been engaged to my fiance, Zira, 26 female, for 6 months now. We were friends in high school and only started dating when we were around 22. We were close in high school. We were in the same friend group, but drifted apart and reconnected in uni. So it's safe to say I do know her really well. She's a kind person most of the time. However, she knows how to cut deep when the situation warrants it. I've witnessed it at times, and she can make people cry. Well, yeah, okay, that's yeah, okay. But you know, I've met people like that. They're very, very nice until you get on their bad side, and then you know that they can absolutely cut. I'm sort of thinking of Big Bad Mama right now. I'm not sure why. So one of my friend groups mostly consists of gamers. I don't hang out with them in person that much because I'm not very social and prefer spending time with my fiance. Okay, right on. Even during calls, I'm mostly muted or don't talk, but I do enjoy their company. I guess I'm just shy. That's okay. Gamer gang for the win. My friends know I have a fiance and they've invited her out with us last night. There are girls in our friend group, like two of them, and this other girl in the group who can be a bit of a pick me girl. I'll call her Emma. Okay, you do that. Emma, the pick me girl. What exactly does that mean? I know it sort of means a girl that's vying for attention, kind of thing. Like she's a bit over the top. Um, what's a pick me girl to everybody else? I thought it was just a sort of somebody who makes drama and sort of um, is really over the top and dramatic kind of thing. Is that have I got the right idea? Maybe I don't know that as well. Let's Urban Dictionary it maybe. Um, when a woman tries to be different or not like other girls in order to get attention or validation from men. Okay. Uh, a woman who obsessively desires male approval and validation, often at the expense of other women. Seek male validation by directly or insinuating that she's not like other girls. Okay. All right. Well, learn something new every day. Hello, Nitty. Hi, Eric. How you doing? And looks like B.S. Lewis came in somewhere. Oh, there you go. So last night we went out to dinner, and the other two girls and my girl, that's your fiance, were getting along really well. They really hit it off until Emma, the pick me girl, joined us later in the evening. She started making passive aggressive backhanded comments to Zaira. Is that your fiance? Yeah, it's your fiance, Zara, who initially just rolled her eyes and laughed, but I told Emma to stop because I didn't want the night to end with someone crying. She took this as a joke. Okay, not sure why. She took this as a joke, but stopped messing with Zara for a while and then started up again. I think she was trying to make my fiance insecure or jealous or something, but Emma kept saying how close we are because we game. Okay. I don't know why that would make you close. I mean, gamers can be close, but it doesn't mean that, like, you play through a few rounds of Battlefield with somebody and suddenly you're best friends. Like, come on now. Zara knows I'm not close with her because every time I play with them, she is either in my lap or right next to me watching me play. Okay, cool. Wow. All right. The man's living the dream. Can I just say that? He's living the dream. He's a gamer whose fiance is in his lap when he's playing. He's living the dream. Come on now. Emma told Zara not to worry about her because she wasn't going to take me away from her. Zara smiled at her, and I knew that the night was over. Oh dear. She looked Emma up and down and said, "You take him from me? Good luck." Emma tried defending herself and brushing it off as a joke, but Zara kind of let loose, I guess. Oh dear. She called Emma a pathetic excuse of a woman and asked if she needs male validation that desperately, or if she's actually deluded enough to think she, Emma, is more important than her, Zara, in my life, among other things. Yeah, okay, so this is going downhill really quick. Wow, all right. I'm not going to lie, I do think it's hot when she gets like this, so I just sat by and watched, and Emma started crying, and we left after she said thank you. We left after she said thank you to the rest of my friends. The girls in my group have been messaging me and saying that I should have stopped Zara, and maybe I should not have let her be so rude, and Emma has gone radio silent. My other friends think Zara is justified, and I do too, but did she take it too far, and should I have stopped her? Am I the asshole? No, absolutely not. You're not responsible for what your fiance is doing. I don't, you know. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. I don't think that if you're going to sort of try to make somebody insecure and that person wallops you back with facts, because it's a fact, like, she's not more important, your friend isn't more important than your fiance. I do think it's kind of hot when she gets like this. Well, that's might be a bit of a problem, but I think it's just because she's being um confident and independent and doesn't, she's not just rolling over and taking this. I don't think she should roll over and take this. And to be honest with you, it is kind of pathetic to try and instigate yourself in a relationship and sort of try to make one person feel insecure. I mean, that is kind of pathetic. I'm really sorry, but it is. And so, she's just being a strong, confident woman. I don't see I don't see why it's your responsibility to protect this other girl's feelings. I mean, what did he do? He actually went and told her, like, stop. He told Emma to stop because he didn't want to end the night with someone crying. Like, she's going to hit you keep attacking her, she's going to attack back. That is not, like, so he did try, and then he went, well, if you're not going to listen to me, I don't see why he should have stopped her. I don't understand why. That's just me though. Let me know what you think. I don't, I think she got exactly, um and I mean, maybe she has gone radio silent, but you can't help that. It's kind of the old adage, fuck around and find out. She fucked around after you warned her. I don't see that you can do anything else. You can't force anybody. You can't force people to get along. You can't force people to not, act reasonably to your fiance. If just because you don't stop your fiance from um defending herself, no, screw her. I don't. I think maybe this Emma girl needs to understand that she can't just um emotionally instigate crap in between couples and just pretend like she's got a right to do it. Yeah, I think so. But I mean, it's not even her friends, the girls in my group saying sort of stop Zara. No, the girls in your group, they should have stopped Emma from actually, doing the crap that she was doing. How are you going to stop her? My other friends think Zara is justified, and I do too. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think she's justified. You don't have to take that crap. Not the arsehole. Emma said things that were inappropriate. She was told to stop. She didn't. There was nothing funny about what she said. Who tried to stop Emma? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the way you're going. Who tried to stop the girl from starting it? Nobody. Do you have other examples of Main Street making people cry? The example you list doesn't really count, as Emma sort of brought it on herself. However, generally speaking, any person with a Main Street can other make it's a walking, talking red flag that nobody should be seriously dating. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I mean, I can really find people's weak chinks if I want to. I can really dig in and find people's weak points, but I don't. If I'm ever pushed to that point, I might, but I generally don't. I think because how does she treat waitresses when you eat out? Have you ever been slightly rude to them? Game over. Okay, well, I mean, I think this person's sort of projecting onto the fiance a lot. I think that just because somebody is capable of being a complete prick to somebody else, I don't think that means that it's always unjustified and they're just a bad person. I don't think that's the case. Left Hand Jedi says Emma crossed the line first, and later attempts are more just another attention to grab. I'm kind of leaning that way. Yeah, I think that her sort of, it sounds like occasionally you do get these people who they instigate things and then try to play the victim afterwards. They try to say, "Hey, you're just picking on me because you don't like me, or you're this, or you're that," and it's like, well, you know, I have a problem with your behavior. Is not me picking on you. Like, stop. Oh, you got triple digits. Congratulations, Nitty. That's awesome. That's awesome. Nitty in the chat. I have a cutting wit and known for popping off in a similar fashion. Yeah, yeah. Neither is your girlfriend. Women don't need to be nice to people who are downright rude and speculative. Word, absolutely. Too often women are expected to just take stuff and be nice. Just before this show, I was watching Shannon Q just absolutely lambast somebody and sort of go, "Oh, I feel like sometimes I shouldn't do that, and I feel like it's a learnt behavior from being a woman." And absolutely, like sort of women sometimes are taught when they're younger, don't talk back. No, tough shit. If you are an asshole, a woman should tell you that and not have to be nice and smiling. Not the other. So she did seem to overreact a little and it was very unsubtle, which makes me kind of feel this might be fake. I've never seen anyone talk like that in real life. If this is real, no. Yeah, she's your fiance, not your child or something. Come on. Emma shouldn't dish it out if she can't take it. You'd requested Emma stop the behavior several times. You even wonder it might end in someone crying. Yeah, I agree. Does Emma have suspected feelings for you in particular, or would she have acted the same way towards the partner of one of the other guys in the group? That's a good post. She's never said anything to me, but I don't really hang out or speak to them that much, so I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe. That's possible. It did cross my mind. I mean, we don't know, but maybe the Emma girl does have hurt feelings. You know, she feels like, but sort of going about it by trying to break them up or whatever is absolutely crass. Like that is a terrible way to handle some kind of infatuation with another person. Like seriously, what are you doing? What are you doing? Wow. Are you ruining my poll, Niddy? That's all right. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. Poster is good. Yeah, I'm kind of yep, I'm on board. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you. I'm with you. Oh, so that should have been everyone is evil. Okay, gotcha. Wide tax 4541. Am I morally bankrupt for refusing to change my daughter's name or give my half sister's daughter the stuffy from my grandma? Wait, what is the stuffy? What are we talking about here? The stuffy? Does anyone know what the stuffy is? Oh my god, I feel like that's a euphemism for sex. That really wouldn't work, would it? The stuffy from my grand. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that image. I'm sorry, I don't have my water, so I'll be back in 1 second because I just need to grab it. I'll be 1 sec. Oh, my apologies there. My apologies. My water bottle has gone hidden. Usually a teddy bear. Look at this time. Yeah, no, I don't know. Stuffy, stuffed animal. Oh, yeah, okay. 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 Well, I look, I'm gonna upvote it. I'm sorry. It's just look, don't blame me for your weird American euphemisms or whatever. Sorry if the title is a little confusing. You think you couldn't have changed it or something? Okay, well, let's lean in. Give her the stuffy. Um, give the subtitle isn't confusing. Here's the situation with background included. Please, I'm here for it. I got to know the stuffy background. I do. 26 female, was only 3 or 4 when my father married my stepmother. I had no mother in my life or no family from my father. My stepmother and most of my family did not accept me as theirs, though. Well, that kind of sucks. To be perfectly honest, neither did my father. Okay, right. He always treated me like a burden or like I chose to make his life more difficult by daring to be born. Okay, that's a grim statement. The exception to all this was my grandma, who was my stepmother's mum. She embraced and loved me as her granddaughter, even among her bio grandkids. Okay. I was always equal to her, and some people accused her of favoring me above the real grandkids. Wow, that's a horrible statement. Yeah, okay, that sucks. When my half sister was born, this caused so many issues because she refused to treat me as less even after that. My half sister hated it when we were growing up because her parents would make such a fuss out of it. She was always so jealous, even though grandma loved and treated her well too. I think everyone had this expectation that if I was a grandkid too, that meant she loved the real ones less. I don't think that is the case. I don't know why that would be the case. I know grandma fought with the whole family over their disregard for me. She even confronted my father on acting like I had any choice in being born, but he didn't care. Nobody did. Nobody changed their behavior towards me. And my half sister and grandma became a bit estranged when my half sister entered her teens because my half sister is very demanding that grandma ignore me. She insulted grandma for letting me play with her grandma's childhood stuffy. Okay, yeah, so stuffed toy, I'm gathering, but never letting anyone else play with it. She told grandma to leave me out of the will. She told Grandma I wasn't a real member of the family. Grandma was so disappointed in her for being so bratty about it, and she saw her less, which pissed my father and stepmother off. Oh, this situation is terrible. I do like your grandmother, though. That she seems very nice. She seems very nice. When Grandma got sick, she publicly announced she was gifting me her childhood stuffy and that she wanted me to have it for my future children as memory of her. It pissed everybody off, but she did it before she died. Grandma also told me after I'd mentioned wanting to name a future child after her that she would be honored. She also encouraged me to break free from our so-called family without shame, which I did once she died. That was 3 years ago. I gave birth to my daughter a few weeks ago. After announcing her birth and name on social media, I had my half-sister, now 20 female, reach out to me through different platforms and through an old number to cuss me out and tell me I stole the name from her. What the hell? That she's due in... If you don't have anything to do with her, what does it matter? What? Okay, this is some petty bullshit. She's due in several weeks and was going to name her daughter and grandma, and how fucking dare I use the name for someone who wasn't my family? She calls me all kinds of names. I hung up on her instead of listening. Yeah, good call. Just end it. You don't have to listen to that. But then more contact came through different platforms and blocking seemed to be evaded on some of them. I was also told I should be giving her the stuffy for her daughter and how I'm a fucking shithead. Okay, well, I mean, yeah. No, absolutely not. This is the thing. Like, what always bewilders me is that people who are unfortunately passing away, that they're dying, people second guessing their wishes. Like, oh, they wouldn't have wanted this. Well, why did they put it in the will and want it then? Now, oh, you shouldn't have that. It's not up to you to decide. Not up to you to decide what somebody's wishes are after, while they're passing away. You should respect their wishes, whatever those wishes are. That's the whole point of a will. It's basically them saying, hey, this is what poster wrong for stuffy crimes. I don't know. I just like it. I'm always going to refer to as a stuffy from now on. There is no way I can't. Look, I think that they're the assholes for not respecting her grandmother's wishes. You might not agree with it, but you should respect whatever the wishes are. Like, okay, you don't agree. You absolutely don't agree. And like stealing and how do you steal a name? How do you steal a name? Like, why don't people think, hey, the grandma was so amazing, she had 2 people named for her. That's a better honor. I don't get how that's stealing a name. I'm so confused. I don't understand. Yeah, I absolutely think not. I think that just prolonging this, and if she's estranged from her family, and it sounds like the way they treat her, she probably should be independent and have boundaries around them. What really worries me is they're sort of evading the boundaries. Um, I think the best thing to do is probably just keep blocking. The thing about this kind of thing is that they want some kind of emotional engagement. They want you to spend your life, but blocking somebody takes way less energy than creating a new account. Like if you just block and not worry about it, you're spending so much less energy than them on trying to do this. Like just block and don't worry about it. Just and then block and don't worry about it. And they're the ones spending all the energy, all the time, all of the resources trying to get through to you. It sucks that you've got to do that, but the more they think they're wasting your time or getting you emotionally invested, they're gonna keep doing it. So the best thing to do is just keep your boundaries up, block, don't worry about it. Let's see what the comments say. Not the asshole. This is clear. Your grandmother accepted you in her heart, and what she gave to you was a gift from your true family. She told you she'd honored. Yeah. The reason your grandmother gave you this advice is surely to protect you against manipulation and control. Stay true to her and follow your advice. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I kind of agree. I don't know how the poster would be the morally bankrupt one in this one. I don't understand why. Please listen to this advice. It's solid. Yeah. Congratulations, may your daughter live a long, healthy, happy life. You are doing nothing wrong. You are honoring the wishes of a woman who clearly loved you. Cherish that love and the memories and pass them on. Ignore anyone. Yeah, absolutely. You are non-contact with family, so it should not matter what you name your child. Exactly. What was this name that like unique that nobody else in the world has it? Is the name Zephyria or something? What was the name of the last fiance? Zaria or something? It was pretty cool actually. Yeah, exactly. And the grandmother seems like the only decent one in this entire story, quite frankly. Seems like the only one that's any decency at all. But from now on, I will always be calling a stuffed animal a stuffy. It sounds Australian. It should be honorary Australianism. Armchair. If there's no contact, there's no. Yeah, exactly. And mate, even if you do have two people with the same name in the family, who cares? I have the same name as I'm Mark, and my wife's brother's name is Mark. Who cares? It's not that confusing. You just have to, sort of qualify the mark that you're talking. It's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. You'll live. It's not that bad. Hey, Hill Hugger and Stacey. Hey, Aussie sass. I have no sass. Come on now. That's a vile accuracy. That's just. Mark 1 and Mark 2. Yeah. It's sort of our Mark and Lynn's Mark, and it's like, yeah, I'm fine with being Lynn's Mark. I'll be Lynn's Mark. I'm happy being Lynn's Mark. That's fine. I'm good with that. Yeah, poster is good. Everyone is evil. Okay, so what's going on with you guys? What's going on? Got a couple of everyone is evil. Poster is evil. People are messing up my polls. That's okay. I'm here for it. Okay, next one is I'll upload that. Yeah, legitimate skin 7541. Am I morally bankrupt for refusing to help out with my dad's new wife's kids like I help with my siblings? Your dad's new wife's kids. I think the important thing would be what's the intent behind it on this one. Is it because you don't feel close to them, or is it because you resent them? Why is the question? Or is it just other reasons, there's just some extraneous reasons why you're doing it? Because if you're just doing it out of some kind of spite, then yeah, kind of. Yeah. My dad got married 4 months ago, and his wife has 3 kids, 7, 5, and 4. Dad has me, 16 male, and my siblings, 13 female, 11 female, 9 male. Our mum died 5 years ago. Not sure about the other kids' dads. They don't have anything to do with their dads, plural. Okay, so 3 kids, 7, 5, and 7, maybe from different dads. We're not sure. Maybe dads multiple. We're not sure. My relationship with my dad has been strained for years. I have a plan to put into place last year to get me out as soon as I'm 18. Okay, that's cool. Wait, how old is this person? 16 male. Okay, so 16-year-old, very young. I don't want a relationship with my dad. Fair. I don't want to fix things or to make the most of things for now. Okay, that's entirely your choice. I just want to keep my eyes on the prize, which is exiting the household as soon as 18. But I help my siblings when I need to. Sometimes it's walking them to school, don't have a car. Sometimes it's buying them a little something. Sometimes it's helping them with homework or getting them some food or picking them up from someplace. It's not all the time. Though I do buy them little snacks or whatever if they want to walk home with me instead of taking the bus, just for some sibling time and to spoil them a little, since Dad was never into that. Okay, well, I don't think, like, walking home with somebody or getting them a little something is spoiling them. I think this person's idea of spoiling is much, much different than my own. I don't think that's spoiling them. Geez, like you buy them, something, you buy them a toy and suddenly you're spoiling them. It's like, wow, all right, I think I understand why you don't like your dad. My dad's wife has a problem that I still do this stuff for my siblings, but I don't do a thing for her kids. I don't even really talk to them unless they talk to me first. She has asked me to pick them up or feed them lunch once or twice, and I say no. Since going back to school, I was asked to help all the kids with homework and not just my siblings, even though they do their homework in different rooms. My siblings in my room, my new wife's kids in the kitchen. But the most controversial was when I walked my siblings home from school and bought them ice cream on the way. I didn't get anything for the other kids. And I didn't try to take others with me, just my siblings. So Dad and his wife sat me down a few days ago and told me I should treat all the kids the same and should be willing to help them all. I said no. I said I won't. She argued this would be a good way to form a stronger family connection. I told her there is no family connection and there never will be. She and her kids are not my family, just like he isn't Dad. Oh, wow, okay. I told the only family I have in their house is my siblings, and they won't change my mind. She wanted to know if I'd go to therapy with them and give it a chance, and I said no. Dad was already doing other stuff by that point. Well, your dad sounds like a bit of an ass, to be honest with you, but she told me we could make it work and our kids would love to have me as a big brother. And by doing stuff every now and again could be nice. I said no. She didn't like that and told me I'm old enough to know and do better. Am I the arsehole? Yeah, kind of. I mean, you might be justified in your assholery, but yeah, you're kind of being morally bankrupt. You're not even willing to work it out with them. It's hard. It is hard. I think that sort of not treating them like I can't help but feel that there's going to be regrets and stuff regarding your dad. I mean, it's your dad. Like I totally understand that you want to get out of the house, but sort of burning that bridge and sort of completely ostracizing your father is maybe not a good idea. And when you're living in a household, you may have obligations to help the household. I don't know the situation, but if you're living there and you're not paying rent or something at 16, probably not. Helping out a little bit may be something that sort of reciprocating with is a good idea. To be honest with you, if the siblings, the sort of step siblings were awful, I would kind of understand it, right? I think I would understand the propensity not to, but it sounds like he is punishing his father by taking it out on his step siblings. Now, I get that you may not want as close a relationship as your biological siblings. I get that, but I don't think they've done anything wrong to warrant, because you live together, and it sounds like they're trying to make a family. Just get along, kind of thing. Offered to go to therapy and stuff, and you said no. We could make it work, yeah. So you've checked out of this entire thing already, and I don't know why. The dad sounds like he's not great, but I just feel like you shouldn't be taking it out on the step siblings, because your dad is, your dad could be the worst piece of crap. That doesn't mean that your step siblings are. I don't know. Well, I'll start up the poll. I'll start up the poll because I want to hear what you think, because this one's really nuanced, and I get that. I just think that, if you're living with people, like, I get if you don't like them. I get if you don't like them, or they're, um, um, step. I I get if you don't like them, or they're rude to you, or they take advantage of you. There's a ton of reasons why you'd have boundaries. But if you're living with them, I don't see why you'd, like, the only reason I can see is because your dad is a prick. Your dad's horrible. That you associate the stepkids with him, so you don't want to get along with them, kind of thing. And I know all about, like, doing things because you're angry with your dad or your stepdad or stuff like that. No, I totally get it, but I don't 100% agree. I'm sorry, I can't agree. Like, all I can think of is, like, you probably have, or maybe the step siblings. They're like, well, we really think our big brother's cool, but he hates our guts, and we don't know why. They, at 13, 11, and 9, I don't know. Um, I don't know if they can understand the nuance of inheriting the latent anger that a 16-year-old has for his dad. Like, they're not going to understand that. They're just going to think that you hate them for no reason. Um, yeah, I think you are being the arsehole, and that, no, he doesn't have to change anything that he's doing. He can keep his eye on the prize. He can go thing, but, like, not to even talk to them unless they talk to him. Yeah, I feel really bad. I feel really bad. One person says, not the arsehole. You're already going above and beyond for your biological siblings. You don't owe that to anyone. It's your choice. Stepmom wanting to have a better bond might be genuine or not. Hard to judge from just 2 paragraphs, but initially sounds like her main interest in helping you out. Yeah. But what does he say to that? I could see her being genuine, wanting a bigger family for her kids, maybe hoping we'd come together and be this happy blended family. I think her biggest reasoning is her kids, especially because my siblings don't have much to do with her kids either. So she might be freaking out and regretting the decision to marry dad given that. Not saying it's possible, just wants to help and see it come from a more genuine place. Yeah, I think she's genuine. You're 16. What your parents, birth and step parents, have done so far has a name. It's called parentification. They're loading all the responsibilities of having to deal with children onto a child you without the resources or experience to actually healthily deal with it. You're a child that deserves their own childhood. Do you have another trusted adult, an aunt, an uncle? Please talk to someone you don't want to continue sacrificing lives for the kids they wanted to have. It is their responsibility to raise the children they've created. You don't believe people tell you are selfish. They are being selfish, not the asshole. Maybe, yeah. Well, I don't. That is a good point. I don't know if they're expecting him to do that, though. I think he's just doing it for his step siblings. But the fact that they need, walking to school and stuff like that, um, it is a little bit of parentification. But I don't. At 16, I do see that. I don't think that it should be, a ton of responsibilities. But I think at 16, sort of a little bit of responsibility that you're willing to take on is fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that as being a problem if he wants to do it. I don't think it's parentification if he says, "Hey, I'd like to, walk my brother to school or something," is a really a problem. I'm not sure that's parentification. I think parentification is when it's forced upon the child because the parents are either A, not doing it, or expect their kids to do it. But I don't think that's what's happening. I think that the child would just walk to school alone, you know, like he's talking about some sibling time or to spoil them by picking up something. He's not talking about having to do it because his parents are. But um, when he says he doesn't want to fix things, I think he says he doesn't want to fix things between him and his dad. I don't think he's talking about actually doing work around the home. Yeah, no, I don't get that inclination. So I'm not getting parentification from this, to be honest with you. I think that sort of parentification is when the child wants to have a childhood and they're just not allowed to because they've got all these responsibilities. But this seems like voluntary rather than a responsibility. I think they're basically saying that, hey, you're being close with your other step siblings. You should be with your natural or biological siblings. You should be with your step siblings as well. Um, I guess it depends if you do want to be part of the family, but it is a legitimate point. So I'm going to upvote that. I have trusted adults that I confide in, but not being able to help me. It's not so bad. I can just keep working on savings and soon leave as soon as. I would rather do that than try and fix anything else going on. Honestly, at one time I felt different, but now I'm just ready for 18 and beyond. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, can't blame him. I mean, it's his life. Dad and stepmom are responsible for treating all kids equally, and that includes treating you equally. Yeah. You are not the third parent. If she needs help, she can find dad's paternal relatives or a babysitter. The bond you have with the siblings, 4 months does not a sibling bond make. Yeah, that's true. It's bad enough that you're a second parent to your 3 siblings. I don't blame you for not wanting responsibility for 6 kids. All you owe these kids is being polite and respectful. You do not have to carry their parents' or step-parents' load. People need to learn that family is a relationship which takes time to build. Marriage makes you related, not family. Bonds are created over time by not forcing a kid to parent other kids. Yeah. Oh, well, it would help. Yeah. Do homework when I have my own. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of passing between. Yeah, he's being a little bit contentious, but does that make him being morally bankrupt? No, no. You're old enough to know better, and your sperm donor's wife is old enough to know better than trying to force something that will never happen. Wow, your sperm donors. Thanks, Reddit. Thanks for that nuanced thing. Thank you. All right, let's see what you guys got to say. I got to go back. Evil steps in. Wife's kids is going to be a Disney princess one day. Absolutely. All they need is a pet that they talk with, and they're right there. I don't think it's fair to force the OP to accept the new family. Is forced into the situation against his will. Absolutely. The homework thing bothers me. It should be the kids, parents helping the kids with it. That is true. That is true. Yes. Yep. I do admit that. And 16, like, I'm not sure that's I suppose if it's easy enough, it's fine. Hmm. Now that you mention it, that homework thing is parentification, really. If he's expected to help with their homework, it is parentification. Why aren't the parents more in the lives of the kids? Well put, Aunt Jer. Yeah, I've got to admit, that's kind of changed my mind, to be honest with you. Yeah, yeah. Kid isn't blamed for the situation, but he's responsible in how they chose to handle it. Yeah, I mean, but if he feels like he has a boundary of, well, I don't want anything to do with my dad's new family, then I think he's entitled to that boundary. I think he is entitled to it. It's not up for us to say, hey, you have this boundary, but you're not entitled to it. He's not being mean, he's not being nasty, and I get that. I kind of, yeah. But the way he's choosing to handle it will probably not endear him to the family. But it sounds like that isn't something he wants. So yeah, he shouldn't be faulted for wanting special alone time with siblings he grew up with. OP isn't responsible for the psychology of the step sibs. No, that's a good point. Although if you are living in a house with somebody, it's kind of are you being an asshole if you're not like if you're causing strain and if you're causing fights in a family? is there some point where you say, hey, just go along with it just because it helps out? Maybe, maybe not. I'm a bit up in the air about that one, but it is a good point. Should the parents be that upset about what she said? They sense more of a grain of truth. They couldn't deal with it and talk it out with her. What? Oh, you think you responded to the wrong one? What are you reading? Big Bad Mum is like doing her own aimbot in the background somewhere. I just, also, OP is 16. This seems like a developmentally normal way to respond to something like this. You can't expect that. That is true. At 16, I must admit, I did get pretty angry about that kind of thing. Yeah, no, you're right, aren't you? Sort of the whole idea of expecting them to act like, a 20-something-year-old. They're not fully developed yet. They're 16, which I think is the crux of the matter. So I might actually change my opinion to kind of not morally bankrupt. Did I even do a poll? I didn't even do a poll. Oh wow, I'm shockingly bad at this. No, I didn't. I do one. I did do one. Oh, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at this. I'm the best there ever was. Wow, this one's really split actually. But everyone says the poster is evil. Okay, well, I kind of changed my mind. You guys convinced me different, and then I changed my mind, and then you vote against me. How dare you? How dare you all? Shocking. Shocking. I'm gonna upvote that. That was good. Okay. Throw Rabovarensons. Yep. Pronunciation is spot on. Pronunciation spot on. Throw Rabovarensons. Am I the arsehole for snapping at my parents for treating me more like a second mum than their daughter? Hold it. I'm just gonna have to pass this one. Snapping at my parents for treating me more like a second mum than their daughter. Okay, so they're basically, is this another parentification one? I, 23, female, am the oldest of 3 siblings. My parents divorced when I was 6. Ouch, that sucks. And both of them moved on. My mum remarried and had 2 kids, then divorced again. Setting up franchises. My dad has a daughter with his current girlfriend. We're a big mixed family and we actually all get along pretty well. Oh, that's nice. That's cool. I love my siblings and I help with them a lot. Presumably oldest of 3 siblings. Is that including step siblings or not sure? Especially when we have family gatherings, but lately it feels like I'm expected to do everything. My parents only really talk to me when they want something. Yeah, that sucks. I know that feeling. I know that feeling when your parents only, like when they're actually talking to you, you're just waiting for them to ask. I know that a lot of parents say, oh, my daughter or son only talks to me when they want something. I really think that happens in reverse as well. Now that I'm 3 months pregnant with my fiance, and 2 weeks ago we had a family gathering, like usual. When I was growing up, when my mum wanted to talk to me, I knew that something was wrong, or she'd want something, or I'd done something. It was kind of, generally I would just feel ignored when she wasn't talking to me. And my dad sort of as well. If my dad wanted to talk to me, I knew that there'd be something in the works. Yeah, it happens. Now I'm 3 months pregnant with my fiance, and 2 weeks ago we had a family gathering. Like usual, I ended up watching all the kids. At 23, yeah. I didn't mind much until after dinner. I sat down with a brownie sundae. Oh, that sounds so good. What is a brownie sundae? Brownie sundae. Oh, that seems so awesome. All right. I'm not going to look at that. It's going to make me hungry. I'm sorry. I sat down with brownie sundae where my little sister, one of my mum's kids, asked for a bite. I gave her some, but then she kept asking for more. I ended up giving her most of it. My fiance said, Okay, now you leave your big sister some. And my dad responded with something like, you should realize an older sister is like a second mother, and that won't change even when she has her own kids. Um, no, no, no. An older sister's like an older sister. It's not, like a second mother. I think that's presuming a little. That hurt a little. I had really wanted that dessert, but I gave it up to my sister anyway. And hearing my dad basically say that I'll always be expected to take care of everyone, even when I have my own baby, just hurt. My fiance tried to brush it off and see if there was still some left, but my parents got defensive and started listing all the things an older sister should be expected to do. Yeah, there's sort of in psychology, this there's sort of this dynamic of sort of children, like the older child has to help with everything, the middle child sort of gets all the attention, and the youngest one's just ignored, kind of thing. It's there's these stereotypes for a reason, but I think this is kind of a harmful stereotype. It's not always the case as well. So I think that, yeah, I snapped and told them they never really treated me like a daughter, just someone to expected to help out all the time. I immediately regretted it and apologized, but my mum grabbed my sister and didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. My dad didn't say anything, but he barely responds to my text. I'm worried I messed up my relationship with my parents and siblings. Did I overreact, and how do I fix this? Well, I don't think that, you obviously have some um resentment over all of the stuff. Yeah, I'd say that this person was parentified. They were expected to do everything when they were the older. So did I overreact, or how do I fix this? I don't think it's an overreaction. I think that maybe just the way you did it was wrong. That's all. Sort of sitting down and saying, look, I don't. Yeah, I don't think you overreacted. If you're, as an older sister who isn't in the house, you don't really have a responsibility to do anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really your responsibility. I don't know, it's weird. I don't think you've got a responsibility, but at the same time, yeah, no, I don't think so. They never really treated me like a daughter, just someone who's expected to help out all the time. Well, I mean, if that's how you feel, um, that's how you feel. I don't think she's an arsehole. I think she just sort of lost her temper and blurted it out. The way she communicated might have been bad, but I don't think it's bad to sort of tell people that. I really don't think so. Or um, good. Let's say, should the post have scolded parents? That's what she did. I mean, it might not have been the best way to go about it, but I don't think her intention was really to harm. I think it was just she felt resentment and felt attacked, which is understandable considering. Um, like it's alluring to say, hey, this is all just over something petty like ice cream, or what was it, a brownie sundae? That sounds amazing, actually. Um, you know, there's a temptation to say that, right? That it's just over sort of a little dessert, but it's not. It's about um, being acknowledged for what you're doing and being treated the same. It's the old reciprocity coming back in. You want to be treated the same as everybody else, and it sounds like she's kind of sick of. So she's sick of sort of not being treated as sort of one of the children. She's being treated as the parent, and this probably was building up for a while. So I don't think so. I don't think she's morally bankrupt. I think that she's just reacting to what they've said. So it's not about this one thing. And she's having a baby as well. So from that point onwards, she's going to be, well, I'm taking care of my child. You've got to take care of your own. Like, and they might not like that. She's going to be a mum to her children. Not the arsehole. Leave your big sister. You should realize an older sister is like a second mother. It sounds like you've been parentified your entire life. Yeah, I kind of agree. Your parents and younger siblings need to learn that you are not your parent, you're an older sister. When you have your baby, he or she will become your main focus, and your parents are going to need to get on board with that. Absolutely. Good luck, OP. I think you're going to need it. Yeah. You might need to make this your hill to die on. You're an older sister, not a second, third mother. You, your fiance, and your child are your new core family. Mum and dad will have to adjust to that. Absolutely. Wise words. Thank you to this. Really comforting note. It's not overreacting. Yeah, I kind of think there would be a better way to address it, but yeah, I don't know. Is this the one you were responding to, Big Bad Mama? Are you just like reading ahead? How dare you? How dare you? You didn't overreact. Clearly, they pushed you one step too far. Given that you're pregnant, creating a gap between your new baby and your younger siblings in terms of expectations is not a bad thing. That's a good point. The siblings are going to have to learn that your child takes preference over them. That's just how it is. I have a brother. He had children. They're more important to him than me. That is the parent bond. You cannot say, oh, well, you've got to do. No. It doesn't matter that he's my older brother. He has children. He will give preference to them than me. And that is okay. That's fine. It's expected. But, getting them to understand that, well, they're going to understand it or they're not. Will not like that given by your parents. Yeah. Don't worry, they'll come crawling back when they need something from you. This little game is just intended to have you feeling guilty and get you back into line so they continue to put on you. Well, I don't know how you know that, but okay, that's your opinion. Thanks for this. You're probably right. Two tricks on upsetting anyone. Look, you can't go through life trying not to upset anybody. You're going to upset people, and mostly it's not your fault. Like, their upset is something to do with them, not you. Like, you just can't live your life trying not to upset anybody. It's unsustainable. Especially with a baby on the way. It's just hard not to feel guilty, although I know I shouldn't. Okay, so one of the things that has helped me, and this won't work for everybody, this is just my experience. I'm not trying to give any kind of counseling or any kind of psychological advice, but generally I have been told, and I try to avoid the should and shouldn't statements. These shoulds, I should have done this or I should have done that. It's kind of, they're so guilt laden and so shame laden. I do try to avoid them. I speak in moral terms, like what we ought to do, but really it's more preference. Like, I would have preferred if I did this, or I would have preferred if I did that. I try to avoid the should statements when it comes to my own behavior, but I'd be the first to admit that I'm not that great at it. It's definitely a pattern, and with them, they pull away if they don't get their way, but come right back. Yeah, there you go. That's interesting. So they do pull away like this. They come right back when they need something. Time to break the cycle, I guess. Yeah. You should. You should. I think that they are better off standing by their boundaries on this, saying, "Hey, this pregnancy has changed the dynamic. You're there for your children and not necessarily for your siblings." Things change. Or wanting contact with their grandkid. Yeah. It's amazing how often your parents, and I know this from sort of having siblings of my own with children, and Lynn having siblings with children. It's amazing how often that your parents, who you see will never budge on something, when they want to see their grandkids and their grandkids are, born, they will budge on almost everything to have that relationship. It's actually incredible to see them turn around. I don't know why that is. It just is. Not the arsehole, John parents. Yeah, I kind of agree. What relationship? Well, she said they had a good relationship. I don't know. This is not good. Like, just saying what relationship. She obviously has a relationship with them. There's no need to be like that. Reddit, Redditors. Redditors. Just Redditors, you know? What the hell? Okay, let's see what the peeps have got to say. So I think Big Bad Mama was responding to this early. Maybe the parents should the parents be that upset over what she said? Maybe they sensed there was a grain of truth and could deal with it, talk it out to. That makes a lot more sense in the context of this one than the previous one. So I think Big Bad Mama is in the future. I think they're a futurist who can delve deep into the realms where men and women dare not travel and see the future of the Am I the Asshole posts. When you have your own family, your responsibility is to them first, not your family of origin. Absolutely. Absolutely. And as a brother, I totally understand that. When my brother was having kids, it's like, yeah, no, yeah, your first relationship is with your wife and your children. I totally get that. I'm just the uncle. You know, that's the healthy way to look at it. And you know, my focus is on my family, which is my wife. And I don't have kids, but if I did have kids, I would prioritize them first. That is totally normal, totally healthy. I'm right there with you, Archer. One of these moral dilemmas comes down to a failure curve. You know what, Hillhugger, it's interesting. It's amazing how many of these really comes down to a failure to communicate. Like the things that are blown up, the things that happen, you know, so many of them are just people not communicating with their family, with friends. You know, so many of them go that way. It's actually interesting. And it's very easy when you're on the outside of going, oh, well, you know, these you know, just communicate with this other person. And, you know, it's so easy to say that from the outside. It's so hard to do when you're in the middle of it. That's why therapy is so good. It's because you talk to somebody who has absolutely no emotional investment with your problem whatsoever. You know, somebody not involved in any way, shape, or form, and they can be objective about it. You know, and that's one of the reasons why that if you know the therapist, or if you're friends with a therapist, you don't go to that therapist. Like, they cannot, you need objectivity, and in order to do that, you can't have emotional entanglement with the person you're taking from. There's a very good reason why that is. So, you know, while it's easy to say, hey, they should just talk to their family and stuff, that might be really hard. I get it. I do get it. BBM is not in the future. Absolutely. I thought I was in the future. You know, Big Bad Mama is even further in the future than I am. It's crazy. OP should get some therapy to pass out her parentification. Absolutely. She needs to work out what her responsibilities are and are not. I don't think she has any, but she needs to learn to put herself first. I totally agree. And sort of dealing with how to engage her parents and have those boundaries without destroying relationships. You know, how to respectfully maintain your boundaries, because that's very hard to do. Because, you know, part of it sounds like she just agrees with things just to sort of, you know, keep the peace kind of thing. I have very strong feelings about people that agree with stuff just to keep the peace. And I think that over the long term, all it does is breed that resentment. You know, it's you know what I mean? Like, all it does is breed resentment underneath that's going to come out sooner or later. So I don't believe in just keeping the peace by doing things that you don't want to do. I think it's always a bad idea. That's just my opinion. You can disagree, but that's how I think. Because if you're doing that, you will just end up resenting it. Now, I don't mind sort of going, okay, I'm going to do this, but making them aware that it's not going to happen all the time, that you don't want to do something or you don't feel comfortable doing something, and you're going to do it for them, but you don't feel comfortable in doing it, and you may not in the future. I think that maybe sort of coming to compromise and capitulating is fine, but there's a big difference between compromising and just capitulating because you don't want them to be angry at you. I think there's a big difference between that. Ideally, compromises, it's very interesting because compromises, I mean, obviously the best compromises are where everybody's happy, but most often a compromise is nobody's completely happy with a compromise. Everybody is like, well, I'm not getting what I want. I'm not completely happy. Yeah, but that's not what a compromise is about. A compromise is about everyone being relatively satisfied, not happy with the outcome, just satisfied that that's the best possible outcome for everybody involved. And that's a big difference between doing something and capitulating and doing something that you don't want to do just so somebody else isn't disappointed. I think that with a compromise, you're really just minimizing the disappointment, not maximizing the happiness. I don't have a problem with compromise. I do have a problem with capitulation in order to save other people's feelings. It'll just build resentment in people, and there's no real way you can change that. Relationships change over time. That's how life works. Absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more, Jer. You're right on the ball. Absolutely. And it's easier said than done. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A therapist once told me something that had always stuck with me, and that's you can never tell what's on the label from inside the jar. And that has stuck with me because I think there's a truth to that. You sort of, it's very hard to analyze yourself and your behaviors yourself. It's very, very difficult because there's so much emotion caught up in them. And that's why, again, therapy is so effective. Okay, so everyone agrees the post is cool. All right, well, I'll go for the last one. This will be the last one. I'm sorry, peeps. I got to call it sometime, and 2 hours is a lot of talking. But I'm going to upvote that. Did I upvote the last one? Sure, why not? Let's upvote all of them. The stuffy one we've got to upvote. Am I the asshole for serving my brother-in-law before the children, causing a huge family fight? For not serving my brother-in-law. Serving what? Are we talking about a dance competition like you've been served? Rare substance 2543. What do you mean by serving? Serving. Do you mean like lunch or something? Because who cares? Who cares? There is a little context needed. Yeah, obviously. Here, so I'm going to start with that. I, 31 female, and the oldest of 7, with ages ranging from 18 to 31. 6 of us have partners, married. 4 of us has combined 13 children, aging between 2 months and 12 years. Okay, that's a big family. I'm guessing Catholic. I'm guessing Catholic, but who knows? Could be Mormons. That's true. It's a Duggar family. Our family is still alive, but our mother passed away a year ago. Oh, sorry to hear that. We are a pretty traditional family in which women stay home to tend to the home and men go out to work. Yeah, it is the Duggar family. Holy crap. Well, we have a family ranch where most of us live on the property and we all pitch in. Is this a thing? American ranchers. I've sort of heard about this. We also have a weekly family dinner at Dad's house. I do have to say, because I know someone will bring it up, no, we are not Mormon. Okay. I did bring it up. They're on to me. Quick, shut down the stream. Well, it crosses your mind, Now that's out of the way, I have a new brother-in-law, Dan, 23 male. Dan and my sister just recently came back from their honeymoon and have started coming to the family dinners. Dan, being the great family man he is, refused to come to any of them before marriage. What the hell? What? Refused? Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I'm only your fiance. I'm not entitled to sit with family and eat. I'm not 100% sure why, and I never really cared to know. Fair. What? I can't say I ever really liked him, but he had never done anything to cause it. Okay. Okay, so you didn't really like him, but you'd never done anything to really provoke your enmity, so you just okay. So, our last family dinner, we don't put all of the food on the table. We have multiple tables, so instead we fix everyone's plates in the kitchen and everyone comes in and grabs it as it's fixed. As such, we always fix the kids' plates first. What is this fix plates? Like, is that like putting food on them? I'm going to assume that's what you're talking about. The first time Dan saw this, he seemed kind of put off by it, but didn't say anything. Okay, it's a weird thing to be put off by. You know what? I remember going to Lynn's parents, and they said, "Hey, here's how we do our." I think it was for Christmas or something. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna take the plate and we're gonna put all this on it and then move over here." And it's like, cool. I'm being given a system that they use. Okay, it's not a problem. Like, the second time it happened, he spoke up and voiced his frustrations. What frustrations? Saying that the men slave away in the heat all day, so they should be served first, that they were hungry. What the? Is there a shortage? Are you on a timer? Is there like, you know, like, I'm assuming they have enough food for everybody. This seems like an ego thing. I don't know why he cares. Fix you something to eat, serve food. Okay, thanks, Archer. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, mate. The men, what? The man of the house is the head of the household, so we work all day, so we got to have our food first. My dad asked him, why would a grown man need to eat before his family got fed first? Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think that's a bit weird as well, because who cares? This quickly spiraled into an argument after emotions ran high. At one point, I finally yelled for everyone to shut up and sit down before telling Dan that until he was the one serving the food, the kids would eat first, and if I had my way, he'd be served last at every family event again. Yeah, you lay down that law. This isn't his house. This isn't his food. It isn't his table. How you doing it? It's how you doing it. The dinner ended pretty quickly after, but now I'm starting to wonder if I should have just fixed him a plate to end the argument. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have a system. He either gets on board or he gets the F out. Like, seriously. Like, as I said, I went to my in-laws and they said, hey, this is how we do it. And it's like, yep, however you do it is how I'm doing it. Like, I'm just going to, the thing is, when you've got a big family, you have a system. You have a system. The dude can't wait 15 minutes to eat. Dude, seriously, shut up. I'm sorry. That is the most childish crap. Let's see if this one will fit. So the question is, should the poster, who's a woman, how dare a woman speak out against a man? It sounds like they're from sort of a traditional family, like a traditional Christian family, even if they're not Mormon. And he thinks that the man has this sort of superiority in the household kind of thing. Get the hell out of here. You know what? I can even think, why are you doing this? I can even think of a couple of reasons why it's good to feed the kids first, to be honest with you. Because once the kids will probably be running around like cranky and stuff until they're fed. Feed them first, then you can relax, get them out of the way. I'm totally on board with this. Like, I don't know, in my household, the kids kind of got fed first. It's like, they're hungry, they're running around. It's feed the kids, get them out of the way, get them on the sidelines. They're out of the game. You can then relax, make your food or fix your food. I'm sorry, fix your food and pour the wine and chill out once the kids are sort of out of the way. If they're hungry, they're just underfoot. They're just underfoot. So yeah, I'm totally with this person. Like, sit down and shut the fuck up, Dan. This isn't your house. If they've got a system that's the kids eating first, accept it. If it's your house, and I agree with it. If it's your house, your table, your food, and you're serving, then you can do that system however you want. But don't come into somebody's house and say, "Oh, well, I'm a man, so I should be fed." No, get out of here. Get the F out of here. Take that ego right out the door. You know what? This is like, I feel like it's this whole thing where people are so, you're being fed by somebody else. Like, if I'm being fed by somebody else, thank you. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up in like a rich household or something, but or I'm just happy to have the food. It's food. Hmm. Okay, let's see what the Redditors have to say. Four of us have a combined 13 children. Make five of you have 14 children. Your sister has one named Dan. Okay, that's actually pretty good. I got to upvote this guy. Yeah, yeah. I got to update this. I'm starting to wonder if I should just fix him a plate to end the argument. If you came in and don't nip this crap in the bud now, he'll know he can get away with worse and it will get worse. If he does this kind of thing at the very first family dinner, there is worse waiting in the wings. This is just a preview. And the weirder part is the way that he said, "Oh, well, I didn't feel like I could come to the family dinner until I was married." That's weirder because even as a boyfriend, you're still tangentially, but you're still a part of the family, right? You are the significant other of one of the family members. Like, this is the thing. It's really weird. It's almost like an ego trip where he's like, "Well, I'm a husband now. I get to tell people to do what and carry on." Like, no. Um, I think that it is important that he doesn't get his way, but yeah, he can't. He ruined the dinner, not you. It's just, yeah. This is just a preview. Yeah, this would be a red flag for me, to be honest with you. If I was going to a family dinner and my man or my woman said, "Oh, feed me first. I'm a fill in the blank." It'd be like, dude, what? That's a bit of a red flag, but that's just me. The groundwork for getting a ban should begin now. I think that's a bit extreme. I think you can talk to them and say, "Listen, you don't have, like, men don't have a place of privilege in this family. Tell the others in the family that this is what is coming down the pike." Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should take away it. No, I'm going to leave you with the upvote. That was a good comment. That he's a child. He's acting like a child. Yeah, I'm not sure about breaking them up or something. It's just, no, OP. You should not have fixed him a plate to end the argument. Dan shouldn't have started the argument in the first place, especially at Dad's house when your dad has already told him to quit it. Yeah, the response was the right one, including telling Dan that if you had your way, he'd be served last at every family event. Yeah, I mean, I like that this woman told him to sit down and shut up. I do like that. He doesn't get to come in and throw his weight around because he thinks he has a right to, because he's a man and he married someone in your family. Big freaking deal. Not the others down due to the family wants to demand changes to family traditions. Well, not even traditions. It's just like, if you've ever had a big family like with, there's a couple of, I mean, I've had Christmases where there's like two families and tons of kids and uncles and aunts and all this stuff, and you have to have a system. You have to have a system, and whatever that system is fine as long as it works. And I totally understand getting the kids done and dusted, get them sit down with their food, eating, so you can relax and they won't be bothering you the entire way through. You're trying to get everything sorted out. You get them out of the way, and then you can get the adults organized kind of thing. I totally get it. I'm on board. I'm with you. It just, yeah. An aggressive way of bored on being demand rather than a request. Yeah. Argued and pushed, made a scene. Disrespect for your family and the authority of the woman in the kitchen. Well, I don't like. Come on. Come on now. Women in the kitchen. Women don't have authority over the kitchen. That seems sexist to me. I'm sorry, but I gotta say, between me and Lynn, I'm the one usually doing the most work in the kitchen. I got to say, I usually, Lynn cooks. Don't get me wrong. I'm usually cooking stuff, probably a bit more, and probably more complicated stuff, kind of thing. I'm probably more of a cook. Lynn is not a huge fan of cooking, and that's fine. Totally understand. I like cooking more, so I cook more. Big deal. That doesn't make either of us, it doesn't make me command my authority in the kitchen. The kitchen is the woman's purview. Oh, get that shit out of here. Go away. Revolutionary dryad. That is not a revolutionary thought, sir. That is a very, very traditional thought. The kitchen is the purview of the woman. This is one comment away from like, oh, it's the woman's in the kitchen making me a sandwich. Come on. No, but you still should respect the household and the people who live in the house. Respect the dad for saying, hey, the children get served, the family gets served first. Okay, it's a traditional view, but that's the way they do it. Respect it. But the kitchen is the purview of the woman. Like, come on. That needn't be said like that. Come on, please. What have my wonderful readers got to say? Yes, fixed plates. Oh yeah, I read that. I'm proud of her for telling Dan what she felt. Yeah, absolutely. And I think sort of laying down the law and stopping the argument. Snickers, because Snickers satisfies. Gotcha. You're not yourself when you're hungry. If we're going by traditional family roles, the father is the head of the family, and he told Dan to wait. He needs to respect that. Yeah, no, that's what a couple of comments said. Absolutely. But I mean, I've known families where it's really matriarchal as well. Like my family was pretty matriarchal. Like nobody would cross my mother. If the men folk of the family would say something, it was my mother that put down the final word. Absolutely. And nobody would cross her. Nobody. Dan is showing the red flags of abuser. Watch out for your sister. Check for bruises. Worst case scenario, yeah, I kind of aren't sure. I know that you jump to these conclusions, but this time, yeah, if he's sort of saying, hey, it's it's my right to do this and my right to do that. Ugh. It's not great. As I said, it's a red flag. That doesn't mean that is happening, but you're right, Archer. It is a red flag, and red flags, you should see if there's anything under them. Yeah. I like the dad, hey, like you're an adult. Feed your family first. That's a response. That's such a nice sentiment, Yeah. I like the dad. I like the dad. I mean, he's 23. Come on, dude. It's time to stop thinking that you're like the center of the freaking universe. Like seriously. And the fact that he wouldn't come to the family dinner until he was married is it's so weird. Like it's so weird. Like why wouldn't you yeah, I freaking weird. It's almost like that sort of, he's back in bloody Palestine in the ancient times, where you didn't have a right to be in the household unless you consecrated the marriage kind of. Come on. It's 2024. Just get with the times. It's fine. Totally fine. Dan is being a dick. Yeah, no, I'm right with you. I'm right with you, Hillhugger. I kind of agree. Am I known for jumping? Yeah, well, now you know. Now you know. All right, well, let's see how the poll went. How did you vote? And the vote comes in. Poster is good. Yeah, I think so too. Poster is evil. Okay, I don't know who's like doing the poll bombing, but well done. So that about calls it for this edition of AIMBOT. Am I morally bankrupt or them? On Friday, we do have Fundamentalist Spells. That's my Friday, which is Thursday night. And I am seeing, I have to check in with our good friend Justin Yahooligan from over at Skeptic Spin, but I might have a debate coming up. I do also have to upload some video. So that will be coming up, and a good old room rumble, because I haven't had one for ages. I did find a room rumble, and I'll try to post that as soon as possible. So that'll be the next thing coming up. I do have a bit of odds and ends to post as well. I've been all over the place lately, so I do apologize for the intermittent posting, but I'm doing my best, and that's all I can do. Eating is for real men. Yeah, because men's stomachs are special. Didn't you know? Didn't you know that men's stomachs are 100% special? They need special treatment because women don't get hungry. Women don't get hungry. Thank you, Maya, for coming in extremely late and just hassling my room rumbles. Yeah, I haven't put one out for a while, so it's about time. And I've got a cracker for you. It's all of the things that you love to see, all of the condescension, all of the Christian Christian attitude of superiority, someone chanting over the top of me when trying to, the stuff, standard stuff when you try to engage in a rational conversation with religious people sometimes. Standard stuff. People claiming to hear God's voice, standard stuff. So look forward to that. But I'll try to record the intro for that and have it out by tomorrow, I hope, which is your tomorrow night. So I will try for that. But yeah, I wanna give a big thank you to everybody for coming. It was really interesting. Some of those were wild. Dan is a dick. I think we can all agree with that, actually. But thank you for coming. This has been AIMBOT. Don't forget to be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.